I'm UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich.
I'm naturopath Doc Will Spencer.
I'm mindset expert Nicholas Spone. If you want to detoxify your cells, remineralize your body, and live up to your true health potential, you've come to the right place.
We are the Cell Saviors.
We are in sync, in unison, and firing on all cylinders. And we're going to talk about vitality and life force.
Start over.
No, just leave all this in. All this stays in. All this stays in.
We are so full of vitality. This is the third day of filming.
We really leave all this in. Okay, so we're talking about vitality and life force. When someone goes to a doctor, they don't measure. Keep the camera rolling. Keep every day, like in the middle of the video. Keep it rolling.
I don't find any of this funny. I don't find any of it. Well, that's because you can't see yourself.
Okay, come on, guys. Let's get to it.
No, it's not funny. We have work to do.
When it's going to beep in another minute. Well, when someone goes to a doctor, they're not measuring for health. They're measuring for disease, and they're scanning for disease, and they're looking for pathogens. And one of the things that we look for is life force and vitality.
Okay, hold on, but you've got to reframe everything you just said. I'm sorry to interrupt here, but they are measuring for something that doesn't exist and something that doesn't exist. Disease does not exist, and pathogens do not exist, right, in the way that they frame it. So disease, which is merely a manifestation of inflammation, through what causes all of that? The infections, low vitality from low nutrition.
Low nutrition and toxicity leads to it.
Immune system and improper genetic expression. So disease does not exist. And we've proven that thousands of times, right, over the last, I don't know how many years. Pathogens don't exist either because we know that the vilified types of bacteria and fungi and things that they vilify and call pathogens are merely mispopulations, out of balance populations of very useful and needed bacteria and organisms because of, again, nutrient deficiencies and toxicity. So everything that symptomology and everything that they're talking about isn't real. That's the only thing that they can treat, because the parameters by which they have to operate in through patented synthetic chemical treatments only address the symptoms and can never address the cause. How's that?
That's very well put. And that's
the best way I can do that.
That's great. So we're trying to make the leap from the audience that pretty much understands the way he does to now the way you understand.
There's many that are going to...
We're trying to jump that chasm to make because we know that.
No, because I'm very frustrated when the term disease is used. The term is used.
Yeah.
Right? And somebody's going to say, well, what degrees do you have, sir?
I use those terms because I know
98.6.
I know that's on most.
There are certain degrees held by some very honored people in high positions that are degrees and doctorates that are responsible for some of the highest death rates in the nation. Right?
Yes. And I use those terms because I know I'm trying to get familiar at the level most people think and operate at. Meet people where they are so we can move them along. But if we're looking at the causes of symptoms are low vitality, which is caused by toxicity and malnutrition, right? And then in those low vitality states, things like infections take over. So if we can raise vitality, raise nutrition, detoxify and eliminate toxins in the system, then we have high vitality, and that's our measure of health
And function. And we can measure it. Yeah. There's actually quantifiable numerical data that we can analyze for to get your general vitality. What was today was what, 243?
Yeah, something like that.
Mine was 5 something
compared to 60 something that you.
Well, mine started at 69 and then 123 and now at 240 and every day you guys can see it in me. I'm feeling better, making progress on the protocols. And Billy Bond, when we were in North Carolina, it kind of interrupted our talk in a good way and came up to talk about the testing done by environmental engineers matched with your scans and how you, in a few minutes, the scans showed everything that they showed.
That they're EPA laboratory. So for anyone that debates the validity of the different ways of testing that we're talking about, that is just one example of many where it proves that it's very valid.
So Dr. Will, talk about, this might not mean that much to people yet, but on the scale, how people move from the low end through the protocols to the high end, and what are some
So we're talking
significant motors? Yeah, for a human, you're
the same.
like you scanned me, and the soil as well, I guess. What are the levels of, like, doing pretty bad here? Here you're starting to get some function back. Here you're thriving.
So the first one is the general vitality. That's kind of like the barometer, the overall indicator, if you will, which we have a number of 400 seems to be the delineation, the line of if you're under 400 and the lower from 400 you are, the more susceptible to illness you are, the lower vitality you are. 400 and above, basically, you can't really get sick.
Hitting on all cylinders.
You're hitting on everything. You're sleeping good. You're running good. Your cognitive function is good. You feel good. I mean, when I work, I can still keep up and surpass most 30-year-olds in most things. I mean, I obviously can't in everything, but you know, I lead a very active life for me. Maybe not as you guys, but I don't do the strength training and things like that.
But here's the thing that's funny, though. So he doesn't even, because he didn't do sports, really.
No, I didn't. There's no really.
I was working. We're at grabbing or surrounding what boy's got some strength. He's got some strength.
I'll hold my own against you for a few seconds.
He's got some farm boys.
So this life force vitality, is that the same measure as like prana, mana, chi, that essential
No,
force energy flowing through the system?
that's your white light.
Okay.
We measure that as well. I call it your divine connection, or in the research community, it's called white light. And so we can measure our connection to the divine with the white light number. So it's separate. So the general vitality is basically, if we look at ourselves as a biological battery, for instance, because we can check reserve energy as well, we can check potential energy. But the general vitality is like, you know, on these 18 power volt drills, you push the button and it'll go over like 6 lights, right? That's your general vitality.
What's the?
That's your reserve energy. Okay, sir. That's your reserve energy. But the energy that's actually in the battery, that's the general vitality. That's the energy the battery can give out and be charged with is the general vitality. Thank you for that. I was going wrong, but so that's your general vitality.
And the white light thing might sound a little woo-woo, but as I got into understanding more meditation and energy healing stuff, you can sensitize your hands in a way to actually scan an aura and those connections.
That's a different. I'll tell you this, and this is what understanding and being able to see an aura around other people. You know, I know that you guys have seen them.
Yeah.
I don't think the vast majority of the population has seen them.
I can feel much more clearly than seeing.
I can see them, especially when I'm outside. When somebody's outside, I see them. You know, that's when I see them really well.
We all feel them because you can be in a room with someone and someone walks in, you go, like, you can feel the energy,
frequency. But here's the thing. For the people that I deliberately sat back, look, I'm going to doubt anyone and anything, right? Now, I've seen strength tests done, and for 30, 40 years, I've seen strength tests done with minerals and certain, you know, herbs and things like that.
Muscle testing.
And the muscle testing, things like that, right? There's a lot of things that I'm going to doubt. I'm going to doubt everything. And I want everyone out there to understand that. As far as the white light part of the testing was the part that I wanted to check. That was the only part that I thought there might be some chintziness to it, right? All the other stuff I've seen spot on with other EPA lab tests. White light, totally different. So the people that I knew that have been tested, that had true, like some of the most spiritually connected human beings I've ever met in my life, but on the verge of death, mind you, very sick people, When the tests come back, they'll show, general vitality of really low numbers, and immune system 0. All the things are correct. They're on the verge of, they're really in big, big trouble. But I know they're very spiritual, and the white light numbers are off the chart. And he's never met them before. He doesn't even know who they are or what they do for a living, right? I just get him the information, right? So, so as I've started to work with these devices, and you have to get there's some knowledge that you have to gain to get into practice. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of practice.
And as you
understand it,
speaking about that, one thing that I experienced, which no one really could help me understand, was when I was going through a really hard time and I was really that low vitality. I was trying to meditate myself back into health, and I would meditate, and I would feel so much worse. Like I would feel terrible. I wanted to crawl out of my skin. And it was like my body didn't have the raw materials to conduct the flow of energy. And so it's like putting too much energy into a system that was just fried and shorting out.
like a battery that won't take a charge.
Yeah. Or overloading a fuse box, and you can just imagine trying to pull from too many angles and just going, poosh.
Yeah.
And so as I've gotten on the fulvicumic and the minerals and the microbes, I can now sit and meditate and get back into that slower brainwave state, and
Right.
And it's definitely really helps. So, okay, so Dr. Will, let's say, I haven't been feeling my best lately, trying to figure it out, and maybe I'm taking some supplements from the store. I'm trying to watch what I eat. I'm really trying to get my vitality up. What are the ways that you recommend for most people to boost their vitality back up over that 400 number?
Don't take any of that stuff you just mentioned.
The supplements?
Yeah, because all that stuff's garbage. It'll cause you to go the opposite way. Most of the supplements on the market, and there's a few of us in our little research group that have spent tens of thousands of dollars buying everybody's products for decades and doing the testing on them. And generally the vitality of their well below 100. They're
Sorry to say.
I mean, it's all over. It's well under 400. All quality.
Some's quality.
Some of them have quality components, but the general vitality is really low. And so it's a really big disappointment, and that's why I became a manufacturer, and a couple of other my research fellows have become manufacturers, because simply the stuff on the market it'll cause you to be more drained, because when you're taking a supplement that has a general vitality of 100, for instance,
That's lower than yours.
that's lower than where you are today, and your goal is to get to 400, you're at 243, and then you take a supplement that has 100 general vitality, it's going to cause your 243 to go down further away from 400. So that means if you want to get over 400,
Yeah, take things over.
you gotta have supplements that are way over 400 to get you and to sustain you there at 400.
And I watched he and Steve Moore doing and a lot at that particular time. It was Steve a lot, who at this convention that we were at. Well, I won't mention the convention, but there was a lot of people out there that were representatives and manufacturers of natural supplementation. And so they all wanted to come over and have their product tested, because they're all, of course, very proud of their products. Well, it turned out, basically it was, running tests on it for general vitality, and that's the number. And
What's 90, 70?
what does that mean? Well, it's not above 400. So, and there were a couple where Steve's an interesting character. He's an absolute genius, but he doesn't have a whole lot of patience for certain people of certain mentality. And he's just, that's the number. I don't know what to tell you. And they're like, well, but this is the science that behind it, and this is what does it. He goes, I don't care. This is the number. Yeah. This is what it says. It doesn't lie. The numbers don't lie. I'm sorry to tell you that your product it's not quality.
Yeah, and so these are supplements that are maybe isolated through a chemical process. They have that amount of magnesium or calcium or whatever in it, but it doesn't mean it's bioavailable. It doesn't mean it's got the enzymes you need to digest it.
That's the clinical science versus the natural science. We're talking
Right.
two separate realities, really.
So, and it can put you out of balance in certain ways as well, right? Like things have to be in balance, and when you eat a whole food that's grown and treated properly, it theoretically should be in balance. Not that you can go get balanced food at the grocery store, but
You do a little better job.
it should be. Yeah. So that's the aim of our protocol and supplements. And so you got to get that vitality up. You got to first of all eat the right diet, stop poisoning yourself, get those toxins out, and then take the supplements that are
vitality.
Right. And so talk to us about the vitality of for example, the components of the regeneration.
The regeneration kit. So we'll start with the sea salt, the salt of the gods. That is well over 1,500
Wow.
for the salt.
And salt conducts electricity. I mean, it's so essential. You talk about being a battery. I mean, there's salt water batteries, right?
Yeah, that's what lead acid batteries, lead and zinc, the minerals in there. Well, we're like that. We're just like a very complex battery, and energy generator, and a frequency. We're not just storage, but we're also biological computers in essence. Mm-hmm. And so we don't just have 2 minerals. We have 90 salt minerals, sea salt, or electrolyte minerals, and 77 colloid minerals that we have all this crazy frequency going on.
And the electrolytes that you would get at a store have sodium, magnesium, and potassium. Right?
And most of your salts your electrolytes will have 3 or 5. It's I think 5 max.
But again, in that form, that might not be.
They're not even in the
synthetic.
The natural form. It's in synthetic form or a manufactured form.
Right. Okay, so there's the salt. What's next?
Then we have we go to the digest assist. Is like 800 and some. The humic and fulvic and 100 plus are like 1,200
Combined together.
Combined together. They actually complement each other to raise the general vitality to 1,200. What's the last one?
Those are the 100 plus. 100 plus.
The 100 plus. Okay, the 100 plus. I said that.
Yeah, you said that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So those 4. So
They complement each other.
can I just like double, triple, quadruple my doses on those?
It's not going to do good like that.
Okay.
There's a limit.
Okay.
That's why the dosages are set the way they are, is to maximize the mass.
So it's more consistency over time that's gonna.
Yeah. So you could take 1 capsule and put it on this and test it, and it's 853, and you can put the whole bottle on there, and it's 853. So it doesn't compound like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I was going to say something here and I forgot. So it's going to jump back into what I was going to say as far as, so I know if your general vitality is 240, 243. And
Really exposing me, laying it on the table here.
well, right after you take the products, your general vitality is going to jump, right? And then it'll go back down over time.
But
you keep
trend is what we're after.
We're chipping it up higher and higher and higher is the idea for everybody, including myself. I know that the more I put it in my body on a regular basis, the more my numbers are going to climb over a period of time, and the less they're going to precipitously drop off after I stay at it, right?
Yeah. So my vitality, like I said today, was like 543 or something like that. I checked it earlier. It took, I was around 180 to 200 when I first started this years ago. It took me 2.5 years roughly to get to 400 and stay above.
So it takes a little time.
Yeah. So I'll give a really good example. You take the salt, let's just say the salt, what number did I just say?
1,500.
1,500. Okay. So you're going to eat the salt. Get it into you. Your body's going to take 1,500 GV and the electrolytes. It's going to create new cells with that, and so those new cells are going to be then, say, 243. So it may jump to 300 or 400 or 500, and shortly then as metabolism happens and the building in days, it'll drop back down. It'll drop back down, and over time it'll just keep climbing, like Pat explained. So but it's taking those nutrient-dense, high-vitality molecules and building us out of them, rebuilding us out of them. And eventually, we are Iron Man over time.
Well, and your genes express differently, right? And talk to us about the MTHR gene and how that changes expression as your vitality goes up.
Yeah, as the vitality goes up, your immunity goes up, and the infection load goes down, and the MTHR gene expression will slowly. I've watched it go from 100% expressed, because we can monitor that. This was, I think she was 11-year-old girl, 9 or 11-year-old girl that had full MTHR gene. Mom had it. Well, we discovered that mom had a tapeworm colony. Baby was born with a tapeworm colony. And so we were monitoring the parasite loads as well individually. So as the vitality went up, the MTHR gene went from 100% expressed all the way to 0 expressed over 9 months. There was 9 or 10 months it took to get the girl down to 0 expressed. All the methylation pathways came back online. Her dietary allergies and whatever went away. The MTHR gene expression went away. The tapeworm colony went away, and this little girl was not the same girl at all in the end of that 10 months.
Right, and this is super important to talk about because the big craze has been methylated supplements, right? And we just heard
Can we explain that?
the methylation pathways, the fact that they are pre-methylated supplements is an insane notion to begin with because humans are no longer methylating, right?
Well,
because
that'd be like using pre-chewed food
it is.
instead of chewing yourself.
That's called what?
Baby food.
Blending,
Or true. Yeah, that's
But
true.
so there's some famous people talking about methylated vitamins and supplements and all of this stuff. And I thought the minute I heard it, I went, did I seriously just hear, instead of understanding that it's supposed to take place in the body and how to correct that? Are we really at that point where this guy's the expert and the voice of reason on this?
And by the microorganisms in the environment, right? That are supposed
It's a big thing. Like on Instagram, I'm getting all kinds of these ads for this guy, Kutcher Oster. The MT strategy.
I know.
Get the test so then we can sell you and determine what methylated whatever you need. And I'm like, wow, my God.
Sure.
It's frustrating that there's.
But one thing to keep in mind here is we're not the victim of our genes, right? And as your vitality goes up, the frequency in your body is then signaling your genes for how to act and how to express. And so it's not changing your genes. Maybe you can correct me, but it's not changing your genes. It's changing the expression of them.
And correcting genetic expression doesn't take long.
We know the genes can express differently, and we know we can change them.
Right. And I've seen it in all kinds of different human conditions where the genetic expression I've seen change in days to, of course, weeks and months, but we're talking drastic, huge, monumental changes in genetic expression and immune function that to most people that don't necessarily understand what's happening, it's an absolute miracle. They think that a miracle has been performed when we know, it's
Natural science has taken place again.
it's biology and natural organic chemistry and,
Well, I think not just on the minerals and supplement side, but I believe hypnosis can change genetic expression as well.
Oh, totally.
Especially these two things together can be a powerful.
I mean, for God's sake, a guy got diagnosed with terminal cancer. He decided to swim the length of a river, and by the time he was done, he was cured. The positivity, the accomplishment. I'm sure he took some good supplements while he was doing it, right? And ate probably pretty well, but he swam the length of an entire river. I don't know if it was the Mississippi or it was a big river. It was a big river. By the time he got done, where he was,
All this stuff was gone.
it was good.
That's awesome.
That's positivity.
Yeah. Well, Let's start wrapping this up. Dr. Will, are there specific foods that are higher in vitality for humans to eat? I guess, and this question, not to complicate the question, but are there higher?
You're good at it, though.
Yeah, I am. Let me ask this first. Are there high vitality foods that humans should not be eating?
No.
Okay, so
No.
So what?
That's a little tricky question because if you're using our products, I
was trying to trick you.
Things that you shouldn't be eating.
They're like nuts, grains, and seeds.
No, they're totally low vitality.
They're low vitality.
Unless you use our stuff.
But they're able to put out. But here's the thing, this is really important because if you're going to grow those types of, if I'm growing seeds, nuts, grains with the quality of products in the Soil Savers boxes, they're going to put out more potent natural chemical.
It's going to go there.
Warfare chemical agents in because they're operating even more systematically.
This is a loaded question back, or a loaded statement back at you, because it's like he said, the plant's going to be healthier, so it's going to express more of the protective chemistry for the babies, which is toxic to us.
Right.
So, and that's why I tell people, I freak people out, like, and your organic wheat and millet and all your beans, they're even more toxic than the conventional product
Because of their natural
because they're healthier.
their natural repellents.
That they're produce more. Yes, exactly.
But you still have to balance it out with glyphosate and the non-organic and all the pathways of absorption of nutrients are blocked and everything.
So
either way, just stop eating.
So nuts, grains, and seeds are going to lower vitality. What kind of foods are going to raise vitality?
So we got to look at what's been called the rock to rot theory. The rock to rot, R-O-T, theory. And that is, on your table here, we're going to put all the different kinds of things that people eat. We're going to put grain. We're going to put some carrots and some berries and some eggs and some milk and some meat in raw form. Everything's raw. And whatever rots the fastest, that means whatever organisms that are in the air that are going to consider that food the fastest is what we should be eating. Because we have a 3-hour stomach transit. From mouth to duodenum is 3 hours. And whatever rots the fastest has the most life force, has the most available life force, and the most nutrition to it, because the bacteria and fungus and everything in the air was attracted to it first and is going to break it down the fastest.
So it's got the most vitality.
It's got the most vitality in it.
All right, let me throw a challenge at you. I can take raw milk, leave it on the counter for weeks, and it doesn't rot.
Nothing gets into it except the
microbes that are in it,
the indigenous microbes from it, right?
and it's still a consumable product because only those good microbes.
It's going to go through it. It's going to turn into cheese. It's going to start to separate. There's something going to happen to it right there. Okay, so something's happening to it. It's not in its. It's not the state in it. Like if you over here, we've got wheat berries, some barley, some lentils, some peas. We've got things sitting right here now. They've opened mummy tombs that are 3,000 years old. They've taken the grain out of the mummy's tomb and sprouted it. Grain has like zero life force. It's designed not to rot, and it's designed to be kept for a long periods of time.
And come to life when it needs to.
It comes to life, and that's when the GV starts happening, because it gets the microorganisms to turn, and the moisture to turn, and temperature to turn the germ on, and then it becomes alive. Other than that, it's dead.
The slave diet. So just like, McDonald's hamburger you can leave on the shelf for years and nothing happens to it. So
that's industrial waste. I mean,
right. So the I don't even want to call that food, but the foods that rot the quickest are what we should be eating because they're the most easiest to break down.
Crack an egg open right here. How long before that sucker stinks?
Right.
Go in the fridge there and get one of those ribeyes out and slap that on a table and see how long that's going to.
And there is an exception. There is an exception.
Well, there's always been. Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't go bad. Doesn't go bad.
There are some exceptions, but I'm just saying. So that's your gauge right there for the vitality of food.
Excellent. So this has been very informative. We can change our genetic expression by getting to higher vitality. The symptoms of a rundown system will depart us once we get that vitality up. And
the genetic expression, just to make it clear, the corrected genetic expression is what raises the vitality. Yeah.
They kind of happen in unison, is that?
Well, you got to have the genetic expression to be correct for the immune function to go up, for the general vitality to go up. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so proper diet, proper lifestyle, I'm guessing the light and all those things help. And then the proper nutrition, the minerals and microorganisms in the proper form, which come in the regeneration kit with those super high vitality elements that we can, just consistently put into the body to raise it. It's the things that should be in our food in an ideal world that in our environment that just aren't there. So it's something people can stay on and just gradually keep their vitality going up, just like I have, from really hating my life at a 69 level all the way up to 240, and every day just continues to get better. So that's kind of what we want for everybody to
It's all the time, buddy.
That's right. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Very grateful, and want everybody to feel the progress and vitality.
Thank you for listening to the Cell Saviors podcast. To learn more about the Cell Saviors mission, or to buy the minerals and probiotics your body needs to thrive, visit cellsaviors.org.
This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making health decisions.